Hello guys, I'm the Sneezing Monkey, and today I prepared a little bit of a special video for you guys. I'm not really sure which kind of gameplay I'm gonna put under this later on. Probably a bit of Call of Duty just to celebrate the last days of Black Ops 2. Even if it wasn't a great game, I still feel that, it's nice to keep playing it a little bit right up until the release of the new one, Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm not going to talk about Ghosts in this video. I want to talk about a different issue. It's right now in Germany, in Cologne, it's GamesCom, and you can really see the tip of the iceberg of the battle between Xbox and PlayStation 4. And it's just so interesting to see because I think this is the last big expo or convention of that size before they're going to release it. And PlayStation just said they're going to release their console mid-November, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's quite exciting to see, and also how people jump on, because in the end you have to see this whole PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One thing. The battle is just one big marketing operation, and there are a few things that I want to uncover and that I want to talk to you about that many people seem to not see because they are so caught up in this massive battle between Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So first of all, the console price. The consoles come at like a relatively cheap price when you purchase them. That's very true. It's cheaper than you would think most PCs are. It's hard to get a good gaming PC for around £400, I would say. But it's not impossible. But let me talk about what happens around that, because obviously companies like Microsoft or Sony don't put these consoles out at that price and start making money from day one. They will have to come up with mechanics to take money from your pockets over the next 5, 6, 7 years, however long they're gonna keep these consoles running. So that starts, for instance, with Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. You pay for that every month to be able to play online. If you have a PC, you play Call of Duty or whatever it is, there is no such thing. You will never pay any month. So all that money that you spend every month on PSN and Xbox Live, you have to add that on top of the price of your console. The next thing are the game prices. If I purchase a game in the summer sale in Steam where it's really getting, some games are reduced up to 80%, and I get games like Dishonored or Rage for £5. It's really, really cheap. So you save a lot of money on the games, while on consoles you most of the time purchase disc and you get a packaged product, and it costs up to 40, 50, sometimes even 60 euros, In England it's a bit cheaper. I think you pay between 45 and 50 pounds, which is still extremely expensive. So if you want to buy, let's say, 5, 6 titles for your console, you have to add that price, that money that you save compared to a PC version where it's released at 30 pounds at Steam, for instance. Put that on top of your price of your console, basically, and already your console will probably be up in the 550 range, of pounds, if we just calculate it like that, and you can get definitely like a better PC for that at that time already. Next thing is kind of the hardware. You have to consider you buy a hardware now, and yes, developers will know what they have to program for that hardware, and they will learn over the years and get better at it. I mean, just look at Uncharted 3, it looked absolutely gorgeous, or just the latest The Last of Us that came out on PS3. It looks fantastic, but nonetheless, it has no proper anti-aliasing, and it still does look like a game from many years ago, because the possibilities or the hardware of a console hold the game back. Even if you could make it look much better, with things like post-production effects and reflections, details like that, you could do so much more on a PC. And on a PC, every 2-3 years, I just bought a new graphics card for about £150. It's a GTX 660. I think it has 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte of graphics processing storage or something. And it's just amazing. It gives your PC such an enormous boost. Every 5 years, a new graphics card worked perfectly fine for me. If you buy the right one, absolutely no problem. Another thing that's interesting about the consoles are that they are never dedicated servers, and they kind of brought that to the PC, starting with Modern Warfare 2, where suddenly you have like the IWNet and automatic matchmaking, and I couldn't believe it, because I felt like they think I'm an idiot. Do you think I cannot find my own server? Give me a list list of dedicated servers. I will see how many players are there, which game type they play, and then I will join or I will not join. You know, it's just, you have the feeling that companies like Microsoft or Sony say, oh my god, we're dealing with a bunch of idiots here, right? They have no idea how to find a server and click on it. We have to make an automated match service, and that leads to lag and you know, bullet time compensation shit, and the whole thing is just ruined basically because of that. Now they just announced that on Xbox One they're gonna bring back the dedicated servers to the consoles, but to be very honest, I'm very curious how that will look. I don't think it will be like a classic server browser where you just click whatever you want to play and will be connected to that servers. I just think they probably, you know, think that people are too stupid. I really believe that. That's how these companies think about their consumers, as they tell them. We are not even players, we are consumers to Microsoft and Sony. Anyway, keep on going, talking about things like open source software, editability, you know, assign your own buttons to the actions in the game, that how you want to play it, you know. Many games don't give you that option, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It's so easy to do, it would be absolutely no problem, but for whatever restrictions, whether it's the company who makes the game or the publisher, they say, oh no, we have to lock it down, one control scheme for all of it, for everyone. It's just shit, you know. Games like DayZ, that could never work on a console, or like head-mount displays like the Oculus Rift. You could, I mean, they're thinking about bringing that, but then again, it's like a lockdown system. You have a locked resolution on your Oculus, and it will take another 2 or 3 years. The PC in that regard is just a playground. You know, people can come in, they build their own thing, they connect it, they write the software for it, they make it happen, and the Oculus Rift is the best example. And if you're really interested in gaming, and if you're interested in staying on top of the game in a way, and seeing new technology, and you're interested in that side of it, then just consider the options you have, you know, and it's not only the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Speaking of restrictions, also, I mean, the always-on DRM thing is another thing. If a company decides that there will be an always-on DRM on your game, or if Microsoft, for whatever reasons, after 2 years changes their mind again, like they did before, and suddenly they put a DRM in the Xbox and you have to be online, you can't do anything. The company decided that, yes, you can shoot a massive shitstorm in that direction, but if they don't care, they don't care. On PC, most of the time you have choices, and even the worst case scenario, like I know people, you have a game that only comes out on Origin, like friends of mine, and they just download it and pirate it, because they're not willing to support these kind of companies, you know, and these kind of systems like Origin. That might be a bit harsh, but it's always an option, and it's an option that you hardly have on a console. So overall, I think you're just in a little bit more control on a PC. You know, you can dictate where you want to go, what you want to do, and I think that's very important for the future, that we don't leave all decision making to companies like Sony or Microsoft, because they have made really wrong decisions in the past, and they have tried to push things on consumers that are really horrible, and many consumers just think, oh, but what else can I play? You know, there is only the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. No, there's not. There are PCs, and PCs are not that complicated anymore. If you look at closed solutions like the Alienware X51, you can Google that. It's about Xbox size. It's a PC, a little all-in-one PC. You put it next to your TV, you'll hook it up, you have a software running like Steam Big Picture, I think it's called, and you connect your 2-3 controllers, however many you want, and you have a console exactly as it is with Xbox. You know, it's exactly the same thing in a way. So I just want to make this video to kind of give you guys an overview of what options you have, and give you a few thoughts in that, you know, crazy universe that we are in at the moment, where everyone is just talking about that console or that console. There are more options, and stay kind of in tune for these kind of options. I'm not saying any console is bad or any PC is good or whatever. It's not the point. The point is that you have to evaluate your options and where you want to do it. And you can see how successful things like Kickstarter are, where suddenly the people are more in control, apparently, over the result, and they can influence ideas, you know, and they can shape the device or the product or whatever it is that we have in the end. And I see this video that I'm making now as a continuation of that, basically. I want people to be more in control, and I want people to evaluate the options they have and make a choice properly based on that. Of course, you're gonna say, yeah, but you only talked about the negatives. It's true. There are a few positive things that I like to mention. You know, if you have a console, there are a lot of exclusive titles. I'm still angry till today that Red Dead Redemption never came to PC. I have never played that game. I wanted to stay 3 days at a friend's house and play it there, but it somehow never happened. But it's just unforgivable not to play this game, and I think one day when the PS3 will be really cheap, I will just buy a cheap PS3 and then kind of do all the exclusive titles, because there are not that many. Yes, there's Gears of War, I think, was exclusive. There is the one with Kratos, God of War was exclusive. The Uncharted games I really want to play. Like I said, Red Dead Redemption. So there are a few titles that I'm really keen on playing. But to me, the PC also has exclusive games, you know, that's no question. But most of the time, the ones on PC, even they are more in a beta state, like DayZ, for instance, they are just the more interesting games because they've been developed from scratch, you know, and they are just exciting new titles. Also, some people tell me that they love consoles because it is a locked down system. You don't need to do anything. You come home, you switch it on. It's just a pure device that's dedicated to gaming, which is great. But to me, honestly, I prefer to have a little bit more control. I think this fear that people have that PCs are going to crash and get viruses and die, that is something that happened 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago. And before that, when PCs were in their early days, you know, and they got this image over the years that they are really not stable and it's not the right thing to work with. But I completely disagree. If you learn a little bit about PCs and do that together with your friends, it can be a lot of fun, and you can have a lot of fun with your PC. And I just really want to make that point clear. So to me, the negative points of consoles, also looking into the future, really overshadow greatly the advantages that consoles have. Anyway, guys, this video is probably way too long. I thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave me a like. If you disagree or agree, leave me a comment. That would be amazing. It would be great to hear from you guys. Besides that, I see you guys next time. Bye.